So after once you have login, click on the courses. There you can see course list, and in this course list you can see wide range of courses. And now you can click on this play course. So if you have not at all go for purchasing of the course, you can see only 3 demo videos, and once you purchase the course you can see many videos, and you can click on that.
Hello and welcome everyone
and
to
you click on the full
Rathore
screen.
This is
and
Shashwat
here you will be
Raghav, your
having
quality
some
faculty
settings like
on this
quality.
platform. Hello and welcome everyone to Rathore IAS. This is Shashwat and I welcome you all to the next session of our polity lectures. Earlier in this session, in this polity lectures, we have already covered about various different acts from the British era till the Indian Independence Act, from which we got our final independence. Then we discussed how the constitution was actually made, who was the body, was that body was elected or the nominated. We have discussed those in the previous two lectures. Now, when we study polity, we have to focus, like if we are studying polity, we should know that our constitution is the main. You have to understand the constitution, and to understand the constitution, you must know about the preamble. You must know about the preamble. Without knowing this preamble, you will not understand the basic of the constitution, like what will be given. Gist of the constitution you will not be getting, because what we say to our preamble, to our Indian constitution, what preamble mean to us is, it is giving first the philosophy of our constitution, and secondly we can see we know this preamble as the ID card of the constitution. What bears these terms? Have a look at this preamble. This is a preamble. We the people of India, starting with we the people of India, ending towards hereby adopt, enact, give ourselves to the constitution. So whatever the constitution we are giving to ourselves, that summary has been given here. Sovereign, we are socialist, we are secular, we are democratic, we are republic. Justice has been provided, liberty has been provided, equality has been provided, and fraternity has been provided. So whatever these things are given, to understand, first you have to understand those terms in detail, and then you will be able to understand whatever features of the constitution we will be studying in the next coming lectures. Those next lectures, and along with the functioning, the whole constitution you'll get to know. Why? Because this preamble has been stated these things, that the justice will be provided, we are sovereign, we are socialist, so everything has been provided in this preamble. So here we have the preamble, we the people of India. Okay, so let's just understand. We'll come back to again this picture, because we need this picture. We need to understand the every term given here. Justice term we have to understand, liberty term we have to understand, we have to term equality in terms of what kind of equality the preamble or the constitution will be providing to us. Okay, so everything we have to understand. We'll be coming back again to this slide. First, let us go through the basic of the preamble. It is the source of authority of the constitution. It is giving that from where we are getting our constitution, from this preamble. Whatever you want to know about this constitution, go towards the preamble. The preamble states the constitution derives its authority from the people of India. Where we are getting our authority? From the people of India. What we have written here, we the people of India. We are giving this constitution to ourselves. Remember the cabinet mission. The cabinet mission, what that mission stated, that you will be having a constituent assembly, and that members will be elected by the provincial legislative assembly, and those members will be meeting together, having their sessions, and they will be drafting the constitution. They will be drafting the clauses and subclauses of the constitution. So what the Britishers wanted, that we through the cabinet mission are giving you the power to draft the constitution. So by this convention, there should be stated, not we the people of India, but from the cabinet mission, or the cabinet mission provide us the power. So whatever, but B.R. Ambedkar knew that next, like they will be leaving us, they are actually transferring the power. The transfer of power should be complete. It should not be incomplete. We will not be remaining as a dominion under you. So for that thing, to ensure that thing, that we will be sovereign, what B.R. Ambedkar gave was the authority of the constitution. He mentioned the authority in the preamble only. And what is the authority? We the people, we are giving. Nature of Indian state. What is our Indian state? How the Indian state will be acting, how we can define it, what is the identity of India. So how we can declare India as a sovereign, it is independent, like no external control. Don't worry, we'll be discussing all these words in the next slide in detail. We are socialist, we are secular, we are democratic, and we are a republican polity. So the status of India, the ID of India, the identification of India was given through the preamble. Next was the objective of the constitution. Objective of the constitution, why we are actually drafting the constitution, why we need the constitution, why cannot we just go through like this only, the government will come, make laws and follow the laws. But no, we need the constitution. And why we need the constitution? The objectives again stated in the preamble. Why? It specifies the justice, there should be justice in terms, different terms, we'll understand those terms as well. Then liberty will be provided. The objective of the constitution, that there should be liberty with the people. Then equality should be there and fraternity should be there in our Indians. So this was the objective of the constitution to be provided to the Indians. And that the nature of Indian state was given as the sovereign, secular, democratic republican. Okay, and at last in the constitution you'll see the date of adoption has been mentioned. What the date of adoption has been given? November 26, 1949 as the date of the constitution. You remember very well that major part, don't get confused that 26 January is the date, 26 January is the date 1950, but the constitution came into being in November 26 only. The major portion, or we can say final thing, was finalized, or we can say provided on the January 26, and hence we celebrate this day as a Republic Day. But it started with the date was mentioned in the preamble was November 26 because the major portion of the constitution was passed. Major part of the constitution's major articles, schedules and everything were given at this date itself. Okay, so next let's come towards the keywords of the preamble. Whole preamble is important. Like preamble, anyone can say just read the preamble in 5 minutes and you'll be done with the preamble. No, you have to understand the terms mentioned in the preamble, not the plural. Okay, so let's start with the first. Let me go to the first slide. We the people of India have solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign. First word is sovereign, then is socialist. So now we are defining the India. So let us understand, what do you mean by sovereign? Sovereign means, anyone who would be answering that what you mean, whatever the first thought came into being when you think of this the sovereign word. What do you mean by the sovereign word? The sovereign word actually means independent. Okay, independent. And how I can say that I am independent if the term comes along to me, I am independent. So what it will be saying, I have no external control over me. There will be no external control, anyone's external control over me. Then I can say, okay, I am now independent. So hence here we are mentioning this word for our very beloved India. We are using this word for India. So now in terms of India, if we have to state that India is independent, how we are going to tell that India is independent? How we can explain that it has no external control? In this preamble only, or in this constitution only, preamble gives this word, that is a sovereign country, but the constitution explains the whole thing. And when we come towards the last article, article 395, we'll get to know that B.R. Ambedkar mentioned that Government of India 1935 and India Independence Act 1947 hereby declares repealed. And when we have mentioned in this article that now these two articles of the British era has been repealed, means their provisions will not be followed anymore in India. And from this thing we have stated that we are independent. Also, we have no alignment, we have nothing, any sort of alignment with other things, other countries. Okay, so that's a different sort of thing we'll be studying in different topic. But here, independent, when we have to establish our independent, what Britishers were trying to do, Britishers were trying to say, just if we go towards the word which they mentioned in the India Independence Act also, that from now onwards, or from the date they have given, that India will be divided into two dominions. They give two dominions. Understand the word, they were saying the two dominions. Two dominions, they were saying they were trying to keep India and Pakistan under their influence, under their control, even after when they have left their land. So in order to maintain this dominion status, what they have said, class Britishers, that after drafting a constitution, please send it to us, because we will be approving it. We will be approving your constitution, whatever you have mentioned, we will be going through it and we will be approving your constitution. If this so has happened, if this was happened earlier back in that time when B.R. Ambedkar was drafting the constitution, then the India today also was today will also be behaving like a slave only. Because if again that was sent, means for approval, we are taking the approval of the Britishers. When we take the approval of someone, when that person has authority over us, when that person has a control over us. Now here we are mentioning that no external control will be on the India. Okay, so hereby we have to state these things in order to declare India as independent. And their demand, or whatever we can say, their provisions, or they are just saying, because they was not on the paper wise. So this B.R. Ambedkar ji didn't send our constitution, and he just ignored this thing and mentioned sovereign word in our preamble. Sovereign term, remember, independent. Independent means no external control of any international or any other powerful body, or any body. Not powerful body, anybody, whether being anybody, any country, any international organization, any huge committee, or the different governmental organizations. Nothing, no binding, nothing, their laws. External community, when we are saying, means country, community, government, they all laws will not be binding. Even if we are joining someone, you people might be having some questions, like if we are joining someone, like they will be controlling us, so India will not be sovereign anymore. No, India's sovereignty will not go. Why will not go? Because their laws, or that relationship with different country or something, is not taking sovereignty, because we are not bound by their laws. They will not be controlling us. If we want to be in this agreement, we will stay. If we don't want to be in this agreement, we will come out of it. That is not binding on us. Their act cannot be they cannot be binding on us. Okay, so in this way we are stating that India is now sovereign. Okay, now next word what was mentioned is socialist. Socialist, secular. Why have I pointed asterisk marks? Because they were added at 42nd Amendment Act of 1976. They were added later. Earlier they weren't present. So we'll study these two things later on. Let's study first the rest of the things which were mentioned in the original preamble. Next is the democratic. Democratic word means, the word comes from the democracy. Democracy means, when we come from this demo, we must be knowing the demography, or when we study the demographic conditions. The demography word means population, and population means people, right? So now people means we are democracy. If people have the power to choose their leaders, if people have the power to change their leaders, to choose, to decide something, then the power resides with the people, then that is known as democracy, and we are now democracy. Okay, now in democracy, when we are studying democracy, let me just here only explain two things. Direct democracy is there and indirect democracy is there. Direct democracy means, when we are saying that democracy means the power is residing with the people, power resides with the people. So now people are electing, people are choosing their leaders. So if I'm choosing the person and that person is the leader, then I am saying I have chosen, to means I have a direct democracy. I'm choosing my highest we can say official of the country, and highest position of a country is the head of the state, which we know as the president. Okay, so here in India also we know that we are doing elections for the president, we are doing for the MPs one. Okay, we are choosing those person and those will be choosing the president. Okay, so I'm not directly electing my president. So if I'm not directly electing my president, means here in this country I am behaving like an indirect democracy. And indirect democracy is very easy to understand. Direct means I'm directly choosing, indirect means I'm choosing someone and that someone will choose someone. Okay, that is indirect democracy. But here why we have chosen indirect democracy and not direct democracy? Simply the reason is population itself. The population itself, the diversity of India, the huge diversity of India, the huge we can say religion differences we have different communities, we have huge diversity. So everything, diversity and the huge population. So these things were the reasons actually why we have chosen indirect democracy, because direct will be now cumbersome process, explaining everyone, and everyone is not be at ease to understand a whole lot of these process. So for India's we can say India's purpose, for India's what thing will favor India's development was indirect democracy, and hence our leaders chosen indirect democracy. Okay, there are many other terms related to this governance, like we are talking about the democracy, which we have direct and indirect. We also have other democracies which you can very well see in the democracy index. Okay, there gives the ranks on the basis of how the country is governing. Okay, few key we can say key criteria of choosing calculating the rank in the democracy index are the governance, how the country governance has been going, how the political culture is there. Okay, political culture, what about the political culture? Then we have the people representation. Okay, these things, pluralism and everything. So these things are, or we can say these are the few criteria which are chosen to determine the democracy index, to determine where the country stands where in the democracy index. So in this democracy index also we have came across flawed democracy, which is not true democracy, we can say. Okay, then we have full democracy, total democracy, which we have seen like total democracy will be performing better in these criterias, but no country in present time can be fully democracy. Okay, fully democratic, there can be no country. So give a look on this democracy index if it's comes in the news, when you will be covering the current affairs portion as well. Okay, or else when we will I'll cover the democracy index again. Okay, so hence it was not in the news as much, so I'm not covering it now. Later on I'll check. Okay, so I was just explaining that apart from this direct and indirect, we have many other democracies as well. Okay, we have many other democracies as well. So do keep a check on them as well. So next is republic. Now when we are talking about republic, just a minute. When we are talking about being republic, means republic. Means again that people, that republic, if we go towards that we are people and people have the power, like we are voting now. Democracy is for the people, by the people, we have understood. Now the people only can be like everyone is getting chance to stand in the election. you can stand in the election. You have the criteria. No one has been given one preference that only this family will be eligible to stand for a presidential elections. This is not so much in the India. Hence, we can say that every single citizen, every single citizen of India has the right to stand in the political elections, to stand in the election. They have the political rights. So hence we are republic. We are not monarch. That is a difference. Okay. And you will mismatch of these terms, you can easily see somewhere else as like that there is democratic monarchs or something. So monarch means like king queen rule. Simple. King or queen rule. We are seeing that this family, this royal family will be ruling, and their lineages will be ruling. They will be on the highest position of the country. Whether the below their position can be preceded as the democratic elections, no foundations. But if we are choosing the highest position of the country, then it should be from the royal family only. Then it will be the monarchy. That will be the monarch. But here in India, we are republic. We don't have any one particular country. Political party. We don't have any one particular family who will be only standing for the presidential elections. Anyone, you can also stand for the presidential election. Okay, so that means we are republic. Next is justice. Now for justice, let's come back. Justice simple means to provide the kind of a judgment for a fair decision. Okay, justice means a fair decision. Okay, so come here, justice. So these things we studied about. Okay, the secular one and the social one is remaining. I'll come back to this thing as well. Okay, justice. When we're talking about justice, so justice in preamble has been mentioned regarding social justice, economic justice and political justice. So political justice, if we come, political justice, you have come to know politically how we will be creating a justice to someone. You're providing political rights have been given to you. You can vote. But not only vote, you can also stand for the elections as well. So you have political rights, you have political justice. Economic justice. Economic justice, only one person will not be gaining and earning only. You also have right. You can also go and earn the money. You can also have economically develop. You can also be the economically developed person. So justice have been given in those terms as well. Economic, equality. You will understand these things when you will understand reading the articles. It's a mix match with the equality only. When we are come to the third line, when we are giving the equality of status and of opportunity, when we are giving the equality of opportunity, then only we can understand that what kind of economic justice we are talking and what kind of political justice we are talking. Because to provide economic justice and to provide political justice, one has to provide the equal opportunities in these two sectors. In economy also, you have to provide the equal opportunity regardless of the caste, regardless of the gender, regardless of sex, regardless of any color or any religion. Okay, so there has to be equality of opportunity, and because of this equality of opportunity, we can create justice in economic justice, and we can also create the political justice as well. So understood this political and economic justice? You have the right to earn. Not only the Ambani can become Ambani, you can also become Ambani. Just you have to avail the opportunities. You have to work like Ambani. That's it. You have the opportunity. India is not denying. India is not giving that only this person can become all billionaire. No, you can also become. You just have to work hard. And the social justice. Social justice means social justice provides that equality. Again comes under the equality that all the caste or wherever, simple, social word comes from the society. So when you're living in a society, how can a society provide justice to you? When we're talking about the society, or we can talking about the social justice, that simply means no discrimination on the basis of caste, no discrimination on the basis of religion, no discrimination on the basis of your gender. You are anyone, you're living in the society, you're a human, and you have the equal rights. And hence this is known as the justice. This is known as the social justice. So here we have discussed all three types of justice, and when you will be reading the constitution in depth again, when we will be covering those news articles or a few important articles or amendments in the news, then you'll understand that how this again and again preamble is being considered in few judgments, and they have stated that no, according to preamble, the social justice or the economic justice have to be provided, and you cannot deny these things. Okay, so articles have already been made on this, so we'll be studying those things as well. So they come towards the root of everything in the constitution will come to the preamble only. Then only we are saying that preamble is the ID card, then preamble is the identity card, or preamble is the summary, or preamble is the philosophy of our very constitution. Equality, we have studied equality of status as well, and the opportunity as well, to promote among them all. Okay, next is the word fraternity. Fraternity in Hindi, fraternity means bhaichara. Okay, bhaichara word in Hindi or in English fraternity means brotherhood. Okay, brotherhood. Brotherhood means in India, the Indians are here, brothers and sisters. We will be behaving like our brothers and sisters, fraternal brother and sisters. Not from the same zygote, not from the same ovum we are created, but we are still brothers and sisters. We are still brothers and sisters, and we have to behave like those. We are Indians, we have to promote. Why we are talking about fraternity? Why we are talking about that we are brothers and sisters? Because to provide the unity in India. So that, because we know what's the basic term of this unity. Strength lies in the unity only. Okay, so if you have to be strong, you have to be united. So for united, already preamble has mentioned that you have to live in the harmony, you have to live in the fraternity. India is promoting the fraternity. So fraternity assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. The respect, the integrity of the nation. Next comes the liberty of the thought. Liberty word means the freedom. Liberty word means freedom, and freedom of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. So all this freedom has been given to us. Thought, we have our freedom to thought. We can think whatever whatever sector we want to think. We want to think scientifically, we want to think religiously, we want to think methodologically, we can think. We have that liberty, we have that freedom. Then we have expression. We can express our thoughts. We have that freedom, we can express whatever thinking. Like if someone is saying something religiously, I can very politely deny those facts regarding and stating the scientific facts. But that does not mean I'm disregarding or I'm disrespecting. We have every provision related to that. So that person also have liberty, you also have liberty of thought, expression, both. Then we have belief, whatever I want to believe, whatever faith I want to keep in. If I want to believe that this particular pen is a religious and I have to keep it and I have to pray it from day one, now from tomorrow morning, my faith is there. You cannot deny my faith. My faith is in this pen. My faith is in a particular stone. I am believing that. My faith is not in the stone, then I am believing that. You cannot deny me. I have been provided these things from the very preamble of the constitution. And the worship. I want to worship, I don't want to worship. I want to worship one figurine, I want to worship not this figurine but my other figurine. Then I can go with any of the goddesses in the in whole mythology. So I have that liberty of that thing as well. So liberty, equality, justice has been given in the preamble already. Next comes the word which we left here was the socialist and secular. Now socialist, first we have to understand that socialism. What do we understand by socialism? Socialism means, okay, to understand, let's take one example only, that the government is there and for government citizens are there. Okay, citizens are there. Now to provide citizens basic amenities is the duty of government. We also know, okay, very well we know that everyday news is there that the government is not doing this, government is not doing that. So whatever is this, we know that government has the responsibility, government is responsible for this. But in socialism, let's come to socialism word, that government, if have to divide the resources, if have to divide the resources we have presently in our country, then it will be divided among everyone equally by the government only. Resources will be divided equally, and this was the concept of actually Western socialism, okay, or we can say Marxist socialism. But here B.R. Ambedkar did not wanted this Western socialism or the Marxist socialism to be understood by the word socialism. If I am mentioning here, if I am mentioning that our country is socialist, although it is, but how it is different from the Western socialism, that has to be mentioned here. So we were following one another philosophy, or we were following one another type of a socialism, that was Gandhian socialism. So Gandhian socialism was what it was trying to tell was that I will not be dividing resources, the government authority will not be dividing the resources equally, but we will be providing you equal opportunities. We will not be dividing the equal resources, but we will be dividing the equal opportunities. You are SC, you are ST, you are OBC, you are general, you are EWS, you are Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jew, anyone. You all have equal opportunity. Go and avail those flags you want to. But if it's a Western or Marxist socialism, then it will be saying that resources I have, I will be dividing equally. The end result, you can see, you can imagine, okay, it will be same only. Opportunity I got, opportunities providing to become someone is different. You are leaving the way for them, how they want to do it. But here in socialism, the government is providing by themselves. They are bounded with the government itself. So here we are socialist. Our concept of socialism was different from the Western socialism. So it was here in present time, if you can see, it is the mix of both. Our country is the mix of both the Western socialism as well and the Gandhian socialism as well. Gandhian socialism is of 90% and 10% about is of the Western socialism. That we are providing equal opportunities, definitely, but we are also dividing equal resources if there's a need. Yes, there is sometimes need to divide those resources, to pick up those resources and divide equally, because opportunities are also not there. Opportunities, even if you're providing, they will not be able to avail those opportunities. So hence government will be doing these two things. It's a mix of the Western and the Gandhian socialism. So hope you have understood the word, that why India is the like socialist, but not the Western socialism, not the Marxist socialism. Okay, and there was a reason that why this term was not mentioned. I've already told you that B.R. Ambedkar was not wanting to their citizens to understand the socialism as a Western socialism. So he did not mention, but come here to this thing, that equality of the status and of the opportunities will be provided. By this thing, by stating this thing in the preamble only, we are saying that our country is socialist. So there was no the need to mention the term socialist, but anyhow it was mentioned in the preamble later on. Then the word is secularism. Again there is a difference. There is a term different for the we can say our secularism and the Western secularism. There's a Western secularism, and in Western secularism you can see that Western secularism, there's a difference between state and religion, and that difference is not just a difference, we can say there is a complete division, complete separation, and that term we can know as the indifference type of thing, that the state will never interfere in the religious matters. Whatsoever they want to do, they cannot interfere in the religious matters, and religion will never interfere in the state matters whatsoever state wants to do. But religion matter are completely different, completely kept aloof. Okay, the state and they are different. But come to our okay, one example only, you will understand better. Example, like here also we have a church or something, any religious monument building. So there also authority. There also kept authorities there to to process those religious matters and to take care of those religious matters, and to we can also say to preach religious teachings. Okay, so now for to preaching, we know we have priest in our church. So if the next priest, for example, next king and queen, next ruler we choose from the family, so same thing we are doing in the church as well. And in church now we are saying that next priest will also be male only, and after that will also be male only, and no female is allowed. Like now the rule is there, no female is allowed to become a priest. So here you can see that there is a judgment, there is a gender biased. Okay, but the state knows that gender bias has been created here, gender differentiation is being considered here, but state cannot interfere in this matter. Why state cannot interfere in this matter? Because this is the Western secularism. It is having a complete separation. State can never speak in terms of the religion. But come to our religion, come to our secularism, what we have a different type of secularism is when our example is Sabarimala case, when our religious matters were there. Till whenever you're talking about religious matters, it's okay, you have the right to how to preach, what to preach, and okay, you have the full power. But where comes the discrimination? When there was a gender discrimination, when the females, there was a discrimination with the females, okay, females, so hence there was a gender discrimination, and this was not promoting the equality. This was not promoting the equality. But we have in our constitution, or what we have in our preamble, mentioned that equality will be provided in everything. Justice will be provided. Social justice, remember, social justice will be provided. So this is not a social justice. This is a gender discrimination, and living in a society, I have the right not to be discriminated. So hence here state came into being. State interfered. State was not completely aloof. State interfered that okay, we are not interfering whatever religion is yours. But here is the point is of the discrimination with the female. So you cannot do that. That's the basic human right. That's the basic social justice. You cannot be violating those rights. You cannot be taking away those justice. So hence state interfered. So this is Indian secularism. Indian secularism, that's not a complete divorce between the state and religion if we say about it. Okay, but where in Western secularism, there's a complete divorce. There will not be interference in any of those activities. They are completely aloof. Whereas in India, we are not completely aloof. We are linked whenever it is necessary. Whenever the term comes to maintain the law and order, whenever the term comes to maintain the constitution, whatever the provisions of the constitution has been there, then the state will come into play. Okay, so here we have understood sovereignty, we have done, socialist term we have done, secular, democratic, republic we have done, justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. We have understood all these keywords of the preamble. Hope you are done with the preamble keywords. These are very much important preamble keywords. They have a specific whole answer only on this keywords only. So do understand those things properly. Okay. So next, the significance, if we go, what is the significance of preamble? Now we are saying that this preamble is the summary, that is providing the summary to us, or that is the ID card of the constitution. So significance, what will the significance? It will be giving the philosophy and the fundamental values of the particular constitution. That will be giving the particular constitution's philosophy and the fundamental values. Like preamble, one more thing to mention here, preamble was first mentioned by the USA and that USA only mentioned the we the people term. Okay, and we have taken this preamble concept from the USA only. So now if the preamble is of USA, whatever the preamble is stating, that will be defining the constitution of USA. Now if we are talking about our Indian constitution, whatever our fundamental values or whatever our philosophy is there, that will be reflected from our Indian constitution's preamble. Okay, you don't have to go through the whole this bulky constitution to understand it. You can just understand, if you want to just know the overview or the philosophy of the constitution, just go through the preamble, that whatever this country, what all this country is providing to their citizen. So political, moral and religious, on which the constitution is based. It contains the grand and noble vision of the Constituent Assembly and reflects the dreams and aspirations of the founding fathers of the constitution, what they wanted. Earlier back then, this everything was not defined. This was not even thought of, that these things can be present or these situations can arise. But the vision of the fathers of our forefathers, or the fathers of the constitution, we can say, was very high, was very beyond that point, and hence we are enjoying the rights till date. Otherwise we wouldn't have been enjoying the this rights. Now next is the preamble is a part of the constitution or not. Now whenever I'm saying that preamble is the ID card, so if I'm working for some organization, if I'm a school student only, so I'm provided that ID card. Okay, I have that ID card. So what is the statement of the school? The student is our part, right? Is the part of our organization. So it has to be part of, because ID card has been given, and that ID card states you belong to this organization, whether employee, whether student, or whether anyone. So same thing is this, preamble is acting as an ID card for the constitution. So preamble should belong to constitution. So it's a part or not. Now for this, various judgments were there. Why the judgments were there? Because of the conflicts only. So they stated first, and this arose actually from the first case, was the Berubari Union case. Now Berubari case was that Berubari is a place. Berubari is a place, and Pakistan. Okay, Pakistan, and there was Thana number 12, if I'm not wrong. Thana number 12 was there. So actually when the division was done, India and Pakistan, so there was a red cliff line between it. So they divided the this provision was in Pakistan district or area. So it was divided according to the Thana numbers, and when it was divided, the Thana number 12 was given to India. Now they were asking that this Thana number belongs to us, so give it back to us. So the crisp of this case was Jawaharlal Nehru gave this Thana back, gave this area back to the Pakistan. So now from here, what actually happened was, Supreme Court specifically, when the case was going on, opined that preamble is not the part of the constitution. Okay, how the preamble is not a part? Because here the reference was taken from the preamble only. They were staying there, like, why, how have you done this thing? Or the article 3 if I'm reading, article 3 if I'm reading, or article 1 if I'm reading. So there is like addition, subtraction or something which we can do it. But how we can just give away the our area, our Indian area, to any country like this? So there was a question. So this case was going on the Supreme Court, and hence the reference for the favor reference was given to the preamble, that in preamble the justice has been provided, the equality has been provided, the these things has been given in the preamble only. Okay, that we have the status of these things. So now so in this case, simple, Supreme Court said preamble is not a part of the constitution, and hence if you want to do something like this, you have to make amendments in the constitution. Article 3, Article 4, whatever you have used, you have to make amendments in this. You cannot use preamble as a part of the constitution and do away things. Okay, so first case this was where preamble was not the part of the constitution, where it was stated by the Supreme Court, preamble is not a part of the constitution. Next comes the Keshwananda Bharati case, where the land conflict was there. Okay, now land conflict, these cases will be coming into play again. So wherever it is necessary to explain the detail, I'll be explaining the details. For rest here as a preamble part, I'll explain the preamble part only. So Keshwananda Bharati case, when it happened in 1973, after all those judgments and everything, the court final, it observed that preamble is of extreme importance and the constitution should be read and interpreted in the light of the grand and noble vision expressed in the preamble. And hence, by this virtue, by the statements, Keshwananda Bharati case, the judges gave that preamble is the part of this constitution. So hence we can refer to that as well, and we have to refer to that as well because we have to maintain those things whatever written in the preamble. Hence preamble is the part of the constitution. This was given in the Keshwananda Bharati case, and this was also kept intact in the LIC of India case 1995. It was kept intact, it was not changed. Okay, in Keshwananda Bharati case it was reviewed. The Berubari case was there. The Berubari case mentioned that preamble is not a part of the constitution, but Keshwananda Bharati case mentioned it is the part of the constitution, and we have to see everything in the light of the constitution only. So here this was the whether it's a part of the constitution or it's not the part of the constitution. So this was decided that it became the part of the constitution finally. Now, can we amend the preamble or not? Articles can be amended, few provisions can be added or subtracted. Okay, the parts can be amended in the constitution, but can we amend the preamble? The preamble is a part of the constitution, so can we amend this thing? Can the power in the article 368 can say that the preamble can be amended? So in Keshwananda Bharati case 1973, it was argued that preamble cannot be amended as it is not a part of the constitution. The petitioner contended that the amending power article 368 cannot be used to destroy or damage the basic elements or the fundamental features of the constitution. But next was that Supreme Court. Okay, so in the Supreme Court, finally Supreme Court stated that preamble is a part of the constitution and it is the basic feature, hence it cannot be amended. Written here, the court stated that the opinion tendered by it in the Berubari Union case in 1960 in this regard was wrong, held that the preamble can be amended, subject to the condition with no amendment is done to the basic feature. Hence, in this Keshwananda Bharati case, it was given that basic features cannot be amended. Rest, you can do any amendment in the constitution, but the basic feature cannot be amended. Okay, in other words, court held that the basic elements of the fundamental features of the constitution as contained in the preamble cannot be altered by any amendment under article 368, which gives the amendment powers. Okay, so the preamble has been amended only once till now in 1976, by which amendment the three words were added: socialist, secular and integrity. It was the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 1976 which added the three new words, and this amendment was held to be valid. So this was all about the lecture in the preamble. So we have studied about the preamble, and next we'll be studying about the salient features of the constitution. So to understand preamble was very much important to understand every other feature or every other provision mentioned in the constitution. Okay, so this was all in this lecture. Hope you have understood all the things in the this lecture, preamble lecture. So thank you. We'll meet in the next lecture. Till then, keep studying and have a nice day.
Go to Google and type Rathod's IAS. Then you can see our website, Rathod's IAS Academy. There you have to click on login or register in the blue color. So if you have not registered yet, you have to click on do not have account and fill the details. You have to give your name, email ID, your mobile number and password, and finally you can click on this register button. And once your details are filled, then registration will be successful, and click on OK. And come back and click again on login and register, and you have to log in now. So once you have login, click on the courses. There you can see course list, and in this course list you can see wide range of courses. And now you can click on this play course. So if you have not at all go for purchasing of the course, you can see only 3 demo videos, and once you purchase the course you can see many videos. and you can click on that.
Hello and welcome everyone
And
to
you click
Rathor's
on the full
IAS.
screen.
This is
And
Shashwat
here
Rathor,
you will be
your
having
polity
some
faculty
settings like
on this
quality
platform.
and also
We'll be basically
speed.
covering
You can
our
adjust
GS
as per
paper
your
2,
requirement.
and we very well know
And
in
once
GS
the
paper
payment
2
is done,
we
you can
have
see wide range
governance,
of videos
constitution,
here.
polity.
And in the course material, you can see the course PDF which is mainly seen here. So these are some sample videos.
Hello and welcome everyone to Rathor's IAS. This is Shashwat. Impart education to its children in their own language. They have this right. Also, they have right to establish and administer